Hey, you, friends, family, and strangers. Just want to let you know that today is my last full day here at the shitty Super 8 Motel. That's just one of a few things going on today. Plus, I thought doing an intro against this shipping crate would look cool. Anyways, friends, family, and strangers, this morning I got up early to go sign all the documents for doing my half of the closing on my house. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that just means you haven't watched any episodes leading up to this one. So I will run through it briefly, and that is this. I am selling my home. At least trying like hell to. There's a big screw in the parking lot here that'll end up in someone's tire. I'm just going to kick it over. Trying like hell to sell my property for so many reasons. It has been an endless cycle of ups and downs, false hopes, disappointments, vague text, things put in place against my will, things that have been removed off the schedule that I wasn't even allowed to know about until I just went and had to look like a clown for no reason, and all kinds of disappointing things. But there's starting, I believe, to be a light at the end of the tunnel. The only problem as of this morning is that this all needs to happen before the end of 3 days time from now in order for me to get the apartment that I'm trying to get. Basically, with my new apartments, because my name is still attached to that mortgage, they either want me to show that I don't have a mortgage anymore, they want me to show all the documents that the house is sold, or they want basically $19,000 for me to move in, because I will in that case just buy the whole year's worth of my lease up front. Does that make sense? So because of all the back and forth, all the dragging of everyone's feet except for me, I've been the only person throughout this entire process that has done exactly what they said to do, and that will come into play this morning. You'll see what I mean in a second. I've been the only one who's doing exactly what they said they were going to do. I've been the only one who's been there on time, no matter how tired, no matter how many times I stayed up all night long to work, get to a certain place, get the house ready on time, etc., etc. I've been the only one holding up their end of the deal without wavering. Because of that, and everyone else being so wishy-washy, back and forth, saying one thing, doing another, etc., etc. Because of that, I had to set a hard deadline. I had to set a line in the sand and say, after this date, there is no deal. I had to go over my realtor's head and send messages out to the title company and stuff like that saying, after this date, the deal must be completed on or before this date, or else the deal is off. Do not entertain, I said in my postings to them, my messages to them, do not entertain on any level an extension for this closing date on any level. That's not going to happen. And like I told my realtor this morning, see, a lot has happened already this morning before I even had a chance to record my greeting to you, basically. Like I told my realtor this morning, I would love to have more flexibility when it comes to this calendar issue, but because of this apartment, because of this hard deadline that they've set for me, I have to set a hard deadline with you. Otherwise, I'll move back into my house, reassess from there, and then I'll put the house up for sale again, and you can take your good old sweet time. I hope that all makes sense. It would make a lot more sense if you were following along up to this point, which I welcome you to do so if you haven't, by going back and referencing some episodes. I think the episodes are slightly cringe, but I'm told by about half of us here at The Nation that the episodes, the storyline, the real life drama, though isolated, it's just for the one person, myself, really not a global issue. It's really not late breaking world events or nothing like that. However, I've been told, irregardless, that the content lately with my problems, my ups and my downs in the real estate world is absolutely fascinating, spellbinding, riveting, and impossible to shut off. You think you are in suspense? Imagine how I have felt. I can promise you, I have not even expressed half of my angst, my depression, my fear, my nervousness, my excitement, and all the rest of the emotions that are in there somewhere. I haven't even expressed half of those. But if you go back and look at my videos, you'll think that I have been telling all, which I have as far as the facts go. But as far as how many times I wanted to turn on this camera and just cry to you, I've only done that about half the time, because there's only so much of me repeating the hell that I'm currently in that you can stand, because I know I can't stand it either. So, with that said, that brings us to this morning, give or take. This morning, I was supposed to get up and get my ass to the title company to sign everything on my end around 10 o'clock. I was given a very vague window of time that they had not even confirmed, but because I at least do my end of the deal, I was going to be there right around 10. Luckily, before I left my shitty motel room, I got a phone call from my realtor who said there's nothing really to sign right now like we thought there would be. However, before the deadline, on the day of, that last day available, that is when you will need to sign. The buyer is all set to sign as well. Because we were on the phone and it wasn't just vague texting hour, I pressed a little bit more into what is the buyer thinking? Because as you know from yesterday's video, he told me a couple vague things concerning the water well on the property and the inspection, the walkthrough. He told me in a text that they liked their walkthrough, but they were waiting on a quote from the water well to fix the well. So I said today on the phone, are we looking at a situation where they may still back out if they don't like how the quote goes, basically? And he said, I do not believe that'll be the case. I'm feeling very much so that they are on board and ready to sign, ready to get this done. And he put it to me like this, and it was actually the first good thing he's ever said so far in the last 3-4 weeks. As far as reassuring me, telling me what's up, getting me up to speed in any way, shape, or form. He said, look, they want this to happen. I've talked to them. They want this to happen by your deadline, because they don't get paid if they don't flip the house. I want this to happen. I'm busting my ass to get everything in place before the deadline that you've set, because I don't get paid unless we get this house sold. You want this to happen so you can move forward. Trust me, I get paid too, a pretty penny, and I need it for so many things coming up that this kind of has to happen in order for me to safely maneuver through these next couple months of my life. And you'll see what I'm talking about in these next few months. And he also said the title company is very on board and trying to get all this together for you and the buyer to be able to get everything signed here within 3 days by your deadline. I've been saying over and over and over, This has to happen on or before this date. And I told him, it's not about me. If I could do this differently when I go to, if I have to sell this property again in the future because I get stuck with it right now, then trust me, I will go about this a whole lot differently. I just need to secure my housing and then go from there. I tell people all the time through this process, because they want to know what I'm doing wrong, basically, and why this is kind of an odd case. I said, for me, don't do it the way I did it. Please don't. Please don't do it the way I've done it. You have a house. You want to move on. You want to sell it. You want to get into a different living situation, or you want to make a profit off your house or your property, and you want to move somewhere else, blah, blah, blah. Please don't do it the way I'm doing it right now, because this has been hell. Here's what you need to do. Take it from me. Please, I beg you, do it like this. You ready? The first thing you do is move entirely into your new home. Empty out your current house or wherever you're living. Get your property completely ready for walkthroughs, for leaving the door unlocked, for your realtor to come in and out, for your realtor to work on your behalf to where you don't have to be disturbed. You don't have to rush to get your house presentable. You don't have to pull all-nighters for a showing that may or may not happen like I had to do. Blah, blah, fucking blah. Don't do it like that. Secure your next place, in my case, an apartment. Yes, I want to rent for now and shit, and I'm going to do that. We'll get there, trust me. We'll deal with that. Get that fully done, secured, move in, get your property completely empty and ready for it to be a showpiece, basically. And then, and only then, pick up the phone and call your realtor, or a realtor that you know of, or a couple different realtors, and get a vibe, whatever the case. Because you don't want to have to set really hard deadlines, because the roof over your head hangs in the balance, so to speak, like is my situation. And as I'm recording these words, there's a huge chance they can still fall apart. Well, a lesser chance now. And that feels good to finally say. But I can't speak with any true confidence, because it could still fall apart, period. That's the deal. Or should I say, lack of a concrete deal. And that's what you don't want. So don't do it like me. But anyways, as far as today goes, again, I was supposed to go sign everything on my end. Luckily, the guy called me, my realtor, and told me, you might as well hang back, wait until the date you set, which is in 3 days from now, because everything should be ready on that date. He said the title company's busting their hump. The buyer wants to move forward. I certainly want to get paid and get this property sold for you, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, that is great, because I was getting ready to drive an hour out to that freaking title company to sign everything. And just based on what we were going with, even though nothing was confirmed yet, luckily he was up and at it this morning and rocking it out. It's only like 9 a.m. right now. So this morning is kind of a lucky thing. I'll be even more lucky if, come the deadline here in 3 days, everything's on board and ready to go. Because if not, I'm not going to get my apartment. Technically, I could float another day out, but I've decided not to, because you give these parties involved an inch and they take a mile, is how I feel. And I would be comfortable with them taking the mile that they need to take, except, here's the semi-truck, guys. I'd be comfortable with them taking the extra space and the extra time that they need if I could, if I already had my house locked in, and I don't. Not even close. The reason the apartment, if I haven't mentioned it, the reason my new apartment, once my house completely sold and or me to have the money up front, is because my name is still attached to that mortgage. And at this particular place I'm trying to move into, they want nothing to do with that. So, in any event, before we have breakfast and reconvene today, look at this restaurant that I'm at. I'm at a restaurant that I assume, and I mentioned this a couple days ago, I assume this restaurant has closed their doors about 3 months ago in the wintertime. Perhaps at the end of the year, their time in this property was over. Because look, there is still proof that it was full-blown winter when they were here last. It looks like some kind of creatures playing in the snow. I love the bird, the giant bird. So maybe these are little birds. This is Roosters, the restaurant. So there you are, some little roosterers playing in the snow. But anyways, yes, with all that said, what do I do with my time today? I don't have to run to the title office. There's no point. And that's good because I'm looking forward to chillaxating these next couple days. So I have work tonight, then I have a couple nights where I can chillaxate, and then I have the big bad closing day, the big bad final hurrah day where all the parties need to have their A game on, because that is the last day I've made available for anyone, me included, to have their A game on. I just sent an email to my lease manager at the new apartment and told her what I just told you, that I just got done talking to my realtor. Everything is still on track. Thank you so much again for holding my apartment for me, but she's only going to hold it for 5 more days. That's why I have made this deal go through in 3 days. And if it does, great. If not, we're moving back into my house. There's also a nugget of a slim chance that the house will sell on time, but I don't come out with enough money to get the apartment, which I doubt, because my realtor's made it clear the figures that he expects, and he's pretty good at that type of shite. So I'm assuming the deposit I get on closing day or the day after from the sale of my home will satisfy my needs apartment wise. But if not, I don't have a place to live, at least for now. And hey, if anything, that'll make for interesting content, but I'd rather not provide you with that content. I'd rather have a home that I can go to. And lastly, in this intro, this longest intro I've ever done, speaking of a home, speaking of lodging, temporary housing, because of this new information, this new insight, the glimmer of hope, the light at the end of the tunnel seems to be getting wider and brighter this morning, and I'm building hope as we speak. Because of that, I think I'm safe to stay away from the house. I don't have to go set up camp. Tomorrow morning is my last morning here at Ship Motel Central. And I think I'll go ahead and secure my last bit of lodging, my last leg of the tour of secondary housing / lodging / moteling, hoteling, car dwelling, whatever you call it. And I'm going to go ahead and get myself a room and take up a nice, bougie, sleepy, relaxing next 2 days after today, of course, in the lap of luxury. I've decided to go ahead and reinvent myself when it comes to lodging to make up for this shitty motel. I'm going to get a really nice, swanky hotel room, and I'm going to get it for the next 2 nights after my stay here, which will end tomorrow morning, which my last night is tonight. And it's basically going to be the same hotel, the one I had that you saw recently, where they say, well, this is your second house off the interstate. So we have everything you need, your dishes, your full kitchen, absolutely everything. And they did. And I loved the place so much, would have loved to have stayed there this whole time. But due to me just being an average mofo with an average amount of income, just like everyone else, I had to go to Nightmare Central. And if you want to know more about why this motel was such a nightmare, look for, coming up soon, the Lost episode. And the reason I had to wait and put it out later, and it's not up yet, it will be soon, and it'll be called Lost Episode, blah, 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 Hotel from Hell or whatever, Motel from Hell. You'll see that very soon. The reason I had to wait is because I have to do a lot of editing on it. And you'll see why. Anyways, I would have got my preferred lodging this whole time, except I'm just an average dude on an average income, so that did not take place. However, it can for the next 2 nights after tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to doing absolutely nothing, laying around, being fat, hairy, and lazy with you. And then after that, fingers crossed, Lord willing, and the creek doesn't rise, I can close after that on the next day. I can close on my house finally. I can get my money finally. And I can get the keys finally to my fucking apartment. So, with that said, gather your things and let's do it. You're a loser. Well, running on about 3.5 hours of sleep. I'm wide awake now. I highly doubt I'm going to go back to bed and nap, because then I kind of feel worse all day when that happens. I'd rather just be tired. I'm probably going to load up my car with all my crap tonight. That way I can sleep in just a scooch tomorrow morning. Wake up kind of toward the end of the checkout deadline here tomorrow morning. That feels so good to say concerning this shitty motel. Look. Yeah. But anyways, I'm thinking, like, what do I do now? Probably just play some City Skylines 2. I've been wanting to play it again. It feels good to not think about this stuff and just play that game for a while. I'm pretty sure when I get into my new apartment, which is looking more likely, so I'm going to start saying it as if. Although every time I say it, I go, yeah, there's a chance it may not happen, you loser. I'm probably just going to zone out for a day or two and do nothing. Sleep as much as I effing can. That's actually, I don't know why I'm thinking that'll be possible. I'm going to be excited about the new joint. I'm going to be wanting to set it up, wanting to get some stuff out of storage, at least to set up the first couple weeks campsite in the new apartment. And I need to really bust my ass still to get my crap ready, to get my taxes done. I need to change the oil in both my vehicles. These things need to happen ASAP right after I get the apartment. So yeah, it is a non-stop fuck train of fuckery around here. But anyways, as far as today goes, like I was trying to tell you before you rudely interrupted me, I've been wanting for like the last 3 weeks, last week I should say, I've been wanting a proper breakfast. So since I'm up, butthole bleached and shampooed hair, I thought I'd go ahead and place me a little a Bob Evans Dasher pickup order. Some of us watching right now have no idea what Bob Evans is. Bob Evans is my eye hurts, is a farm style country bumpkin breakfast type of restaurant. And you know how like Cracker Barrels are American famous? Bob Evans is like the eastern side of America famous. They started from Rio Grande, Ohio. And by the way, the original Bob Evans down in Rio Grande, the homestead property, sucked. My service was absolute ass. My eggs were not even cooked all the way. The place was understaffed. If you want a nice Bob Evans experience, go to a different one, not the OG original. Ironic, right? I thought it'd be the opposite, literally the opposite experience, but not. Anyways, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and chill out a little bit. I wish you were here to make sure I can take a nap and wake me up so I can go to work. But you're not, so I'm just going to try to stay up because I will. If I bedded down for a nap at this point, I'd probably sleep right through the freaking phone alarm. See, I can't like talk to my Echo device and have her set an alarm for me because I'm not home. I've been staying in lodgings for what now? 3 weeks, 2 weeks, something like that. Oh man. Can't wait for this to be done on so many levels. So basically over these last few days, I've had to figure out like what percent of me thinks I'm selling my house and getting my apartment, and what percent of me thinks I'm not going to be able to sell my house and get my apartment. And, you know, at the beginning of the day yesterday, I was at 25% selling, 75% probably not going to be able to sell it. Then I got that text message at work that sent me to 51% selling, 49% preparing for the deal not to happen. But after this morning's conversation, I am like 25% not selling and 75% probably going to work out just fine, which is reassuring. However, it's still not confirmed. It's not, I don't have keys in my hand. I don't have the money in my account, and I cannot. It's just how I operate. I'm a just in case, safety net, cover your bases type person. I will not be able to take a full breath and finally relax until everything is done the way it's supposed to be done and the goals are, the goals are reached. The goal has to be reached in order for me to feel like they've been reached, period. Well, I'm not sure who Doe is, but hopefully they're talking about me. And the time has come for me to eat my breakfast and play my computer game and pretend I'm not still super antsy about this real estate deal. Well, it felt pretty good to zone out for about an hour, but that got boring. So, you know what it's time to do now? It's time to get my stuff kind of gathered, get the trash collected, little things like random shirts need to be put in the dirty waste basket. I'm going to get some of my, things like the coffee supplies, restaurant spoons, Texas Pete's. It's time to get Texas Pete and Sour Patch Youngins put in the proper bag, like this one, and stuff, because guess what? Finally, tomorrow morning, we're the F out of here. I don't know if all this crap can fit in my car. Like, I think everything that's in here came in one carload, but I don't even remember. It's been too many days now. Like, did I go to the storage unit and get anything else? Because I remember when I came here, like 7 days ago or whatever the hell it was, I could barely get all the crap in my car to come here. So, as much as I want to sleep in tomorrow morning, I should probably get up early again and pack up the car nice and tight. I would pack up the car tonight, and I think I said I was going to, but I probably should not. Because there is still the gentleman who lives in his car in the abandoned restaurant parking lot over there. And it's not that I assume bad things about this gentleman. It's just that when you load up your car full of crap, full of what could be interpreted as nice things, like these drawers and stuff like that, you do that, and it takes about 20 minutes or so to put everything in the car. Then you close the car. You know this guy? And then you close the car, and that person watches, and then you never come back out of your room for a couple hours. Why the fuck wouldn't they steal your shit? I mean, I'm not going to, but I'm not the guy sleeping in an abandoned parking lot hoping not to get arrested. You know what I'm saying?
Gary from Insurance Plan Essential. How are you doing today? It is good.
My day's getting better. This is my last shitty night at this shitty motel. How are you doing?
Why this is a last night here for you?
Because I didn't pay for an additional night after tonight, silly. Oh, okay, that sounds good.
Trying to figure out what to do to waste a couple hours when you get up early because you have to go do something. Compared to yesterday morning when you got to sleep until like 11, you end up having extra time, which is good and bad, right? It's good because you have extra time. It's bad because there's nothing to do. It's not like I can wash my sheets. It's not like I can vacuum my rug. It's not like I can hang out on the patio and see which one of the soccer moms of my neighbors is hot or not. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I got like bags of grocery items, cups, plasticware, my canned coffee creamies. I think it's a good time to start putting that in the trunk. And I have like crap in my back seat for if I have to move back into my house. I'm going to put in the trunk and try to compactualize it. That way I have the back seat to put all this freaking luggage in, which is how we say luggage in my country. Oh yeah, I should probably book my room, which is not in this town. For once, we're actually leaving this little town, and we're venturing out a little bit, because I have a couple days off work coming up after tonight, and I have a couple more days of being unhoused, either with the house or the apartment, one of the two, but 2 days in between, I will be an unhoused motherfucker. So, because it's the very last 2 days of the unhousement, I'm going to go ahead and bougie it up. Fuck it. And, yeah, we'll do that. And then what else? Oh, yeah, but I should probably check my messages and my email real quick to make sure that the train has not went off the rails in the last couple hours. Because you know, from being here already, anything could happen at any fucking moment.
Hello?
Yep, my name is Frank with American Home Security. How are you?
I'm getting ready to book my next hotel room. I'm doing good, sweetie.
Alright. Well, let me ask you, if we gave you home security system without any upfront cost, I believe you will take it, right?
Yeah, this room I'm in right now is too noisy. The neighbors are real inconsiderate pieces of shit, so I can't wait to upgrade, yeah. Oh, shit, he hung up. Okay, so he said there's nothing for me to sign because there's something they're finalizing. I forget exactly what it was, but my immediate question was, will everything be good to go by Monday? He said yes, so you might as well just sign on Monday morning. And I said, okay. Rokery. So yeah, I think I'm safe at this moment to book my next room. I know you can like cancel, but I think you have to do it within 24 hours, and I might find out like 5 hours prior and be stuck. But at least I'll just enjoy my room before I have to go back to my house with no water and no heat. And no sex appeal, no balcony, no hot soccer mom neighbors. Well, there's one, ish. So, I think I'm good for this moment. I think this is the right moment to book my very last hotel of this entire hotel motel saga that you've been watching. Going to attempt to get what I know I'll need for my next 2 nights after tonight into just those stackable, lockable, carded crates that I showed you the other day. That way I can leave my red bag and my clothes hamper and crap like that out in the car the next 2-3 nights. Or the next 2 nights when I'm at the new place. And I'm sitting here I made a reminder to, when I leave out of that hotel on Monday, not to just sit around waiting for my deposit, because I have to remember that I still haven't signed anything yet, because I can't yet. But if I go off again what I was told to go off of from the conversation, then which is nerve-wracking because none of it's solidly confirmed yet, which is kind of like the world I've been in for the last week, where you just kind of have to hope for the best. But anyways, I have to remember to go out there and sign everything at 10 a.m. when the morning that I check out of the new hotel. Saying goodbye to this place tomorrow morning, which feels so damn good to say. And what's going to feel even better to say, hopefully I'll be able to say it here in 3 mornings from now, or 4, whatever the heck it is. The signing is done. Everything is on track. And then hopefully just a few moments after that, within a few hours or whatever, I'll be able to say, I got my deposit, I got my money, I'm ready to get my keys, ready to rent my garage and my apartment. Bada bing, bada boom. Speaking of which, I sent her an email asking about adding a garage onto my apartment, and I haven't heard back. But with that apartment, sometimes you don't hear back in an email until like the next day. So she's probably just checks her email once in the morning. But I have confirmed with her like 3 different times that she is holding my apartment, so I'm trying not to overthink that one. Preferably, I would like her to call me every day or text me daily and confirm that my apartment is being held. But she's not going to do that because she's not a crazy person like me. So I just need to remember to take her word, keep it calm, and yeah, I'll be good, right? Right? Anyways, see all them stackable, lockable crates, and then there's the one in there that locks together the drawers with my ducks on it. I'm going to try to get my life into those. That way, tomorrow, actually, I can just leave out of here in the morning, head to the laundromat, and then do all that from there. That'll give me something to do setting up camp in the parking lot at the laundromat. Then I'll head to the next town, which is where I'm going to get to heading to the beach. Why not go ahead and put that in the dumpster, put that bathroom trash in here first. That way you don't have to fuck with this in the morning, because I need this container for my Keurig, my Kjork. And I need to return the wooden coat hangers to this dumb little old 1970s busted out rusty rack. This will be our last daytime shot to take a look at the beautiful pool. Kindly obey our pool rules, and there's a lot of don'ts. No peeing in the pool. It's epically sad that a sign has to be posted to let people know that. No dunking, no bombing. Oh, that's a bummer. I could see no diving, but no bombing, because you can break your tailbone doing that. But it sucks.
There is no lifeguard on duty, swim at your own risk, and no glass bottles out here. But I didn't see anything that said no alcohol. Just as the alcohol, as long as the alcohol is not in a glass bottle, I guess. Because I was reading these yesterday. There's also a sign that says registered guest only. But what if you're staying here, which happens all the time, 2 adults, 1 kid, whatever the case, your family comes in, but only one of the adults is actually registered. Then what? My kids can't swim in the pool. I'm not putting everyone's name on the reservation. Do you want to know something sad? I already know that there is a possibility that tomorrow morning, the only thing I'm going to want to do as soon as I wake up is start filming my video and get the fuck out of here. And there is a 50-50 shot I will have no interest in taking a morning shower. I know it's gross, but hey, I'm just roughing it by myself. It's not like you're here for me to snuggle up on you or nothing. So because of that, there's also a big chance I will forget to take my shower bag. Look how beautiful. That all closes up and zips up, of course, and that goes in there and zips up, blah, blah, blah. But look how gorgeous. So I put my shower bag right out here blocking my morning coffee because there is a 0% chance I will not want a cup of coffee. There is a 100% chance I'm going straight to this when I wake up. That's my morning cigarette right there. And this will be the reminder. Are you taking a shower? And if not, then at least put this away. And also, there's no way I'm forgetting to take my Keurig, right? Well, that will go in this bin. But there is a giant chance I'll forget to put these wooden hangers where they go. Because right now I have stored them out of sight. And I don't want the friendly staff here to think these got stole. So anyways, as a reminder, of course, I'll put that there. I have a couple minutes to spare, so I thought I would pop into the wheeled storage unit. And I might take some stuff that I need to move back into my house and place it into storage as a sign of good faith. Or maybe that's just me trying to fight the depression of not knowing exactly how it'll play out. I have the rest of my life to come back and get what I need, whether the deal goes south or north. So that's kind of where I'm at, and I need to free up some room in my car for moving out of that motel room in the morning, basically. So let's do this. A worker of the aka a coworker, wants this fan for their garage. So I said whenever I get to it and remember to do so, I will measure it so you know what you're getting. 41 inches tall, and it is 30 some inches, 37, 38 inches wide. Yeah, this goes up to my navel. It's a big ass Max Pro, baby. Max Air Pro, baby, with 2 X's. That's how you know she ain't fucking around, boys. There was a missed call from the apartments, which is kind of nerve-wracking. There's no voicemail. And then I called her, and she said, yeah, I just spoke to... And I don't know if you know this about me, but I instantaneously prepare for the worst while anticipating the best. I thought she was going to say management. I just spoke to my manager, and it doesn't look like we're able to get you finalized or verified. It looks like you fucking tried to bend over your previous landlord and put it in their ass and broke your lease and stuff. So we're going to need you to go ahead and fuck off for all of eternity. I thought that is what she was about to tell me, but she said, yeah, I wanted to let you know I just spoke to maintenance, and we're not going to have that apartment ready by that date, but it should be okay for the following morning. And I said, oh, trust me, if you can hold the unit for me, I don't care if I got to wait longer. As long as it's being held for me, I'm a happy camper. So there's no getting the apartment on the day I close, which is fine. As long as I can close and the apartment's being held, I'll be happy. So I'll probably, hopefully everything happens good with the house. I'll get my fucking money and I'll get my shit and I'll get my house sold. Then I'll just add an extra night to my badass pimped out hotel room if they got space for me. But I'll go ahead and wait and see if the house happens first. So twists and turns at every turn. And just like that, my friends, what goes up must come down. At work tonight, much like other nights, I received a text from my realtor that was chock full of bad news. Believe it or not, after all these false hope and these near misses, the train was in sight of the station. The townspeople could finally hear it, could smell the burning coal, would have bet the farm that the train was finally going to be able to make it to the station. But no, about a mile before it hit the station, it went off the rails. That's right. My realtor texted me and said many things that were unprofessional, involving gaslighting, manipulation, anger towards me. He seems to think that I don't know the world in which he works, which is false. And I think he relies on that with some people to make money, whether or not it's a good deal for them or not. But I'd rather not get too far deep into speculating on the man's character, mostly because I don't have to anymore. He and I are done working together. But anyways, he said the buyer has got their quotes back for the well and septic. I was unaware that there was a question on the septic, but much like many things, I'm not allowed to know until it becomes a major issue, I guess you could say. I don't know. Much like many things, I'm not allowed to know about that. Wasn't allowed to know about that, just like a lot of other things. He said, basically, I've already done the math. Wait till you hear this. This buyer made an offer to pay what we were asking. Now they would like me to sign an offer where they pay $19,000 less. My friends, that is not going to take place. So I simply texted my realtor back, my former realtor back, and I said, I will not be able to accept, but please keep my lawnmower for your troubles, or something along those lines. And he started in with a bunch of things designed to make me accept a crushingly low offer and disregard to what my needs are, and disregarding my limits that I've set. He wants to disregard the position I'm in. And he said, well, what's the absolute bottom line? You know, you and I have a lot of time on our listing agreement. I don't believe we have a listing agreement, but he does have, we do have an exclusive agency contract in place, which just indicates if I proceed with leaving my house on the market up until sometime in July, I forget exactly when, He is the only, it's either him or his brokerage. It's either him or the company he works for is only allowed to be the one who sells my property on my behalf. I do believe I can sell it on my own, but I've entered into legal binding contract which says I cannot enlist the help of any other broker and potentially even any other sales agent as well. I'm not sure, but I really don't care because I am not accepting any new offers on my house. I've made it explicitly clear in previous communications prior to today that if this deal does not happen at the price and by the specific date on or before that I have indicated, that the deal is off and I would like my home to be off of the market in every way. And I've made that clear to the title company. There will be no extensions, and I've made it clear to them what my price would be. And I believe his badgering and pushing to get me to accept this low offer is unethical and unfair. I've not treated him unfairly. I'm offering him a $3,000 zero-turn lawnmower. I've already given it to him. We agreed that he could have it if he took $1,000 off his commission, and he talked to me in an unfair manner to reach that price. He argued that price with me. He said if I would just let him, he said I would have more money in my pocket if he just took it off his commission and broker fee, but in real life that's not true. Rather than tell him that he's speaking to me as if he thinks I am a foolish child, I just went ahead and said, I can go with that as a token of my appreciation for your work. That was a few weeks ago before several blind sightings and false communications and things being told for me to do and my schedule being disregarded, etc. But anyways, I'm going to try as hard as I can not to take too much anger out on him in this announcement of this plot twist. What it comes down to is he's not going to get his way. I'm not going to accept another offer. Even if I did, it would take the title office more time to adjust the papers, and it would fall past my deadline anyways. If he thinks he's going to try to pull some kind of legal thing where I must sell the property at any price, then I highly doubt he'll be successful in that. I will report him to his broker instantaneously if this continues. I will not argue with him. I will not ask him to back up. I will just simply speak to his brokerage, the company he works for, and have them reach out to their agent that represents them. If he thinks he's fucking with a fool, then that makes him the fool. But allow me to calm down here just a moment. The deal's not going to happen. Like I said, they basically, when this home buying LLC house flipping company made an offer on my home, they made an offer to the price that I was asking at the time. By the way, this is a price that is $4,000 less than the original price we had decided on. Actually, my realtor came up with the price without even asking me if I was comfortable with that specific price. I read it in the original purchase contract with the original potential buyer, and I went along with it and signed everything. Then this new buyer got in on a deal that was $4,000 less than that, and I went along with that. That current buyer is now saying that they are only willing to pay now what is even $19,000 less than that second offer even. And my realtor has not drew up new contracts for me to sign, and that's probably good because he would have wasted his time if he done so. I'm not signing that, and I'm not agreeing to anything past the closing date that I've stipulated anyways. So it's not going to happen. So as it rains, as my car gets completely showered here, the heavy rain is, as you can hear, beating on my car hood rather my car ceiling. Let's just listen to it for one moment. As the rain comes down over my head, so does my real estate attempts. So let's make this clear. They would have to agree to my original price. They would have to sign in 3 days. I would probably have them sign everything before me at this point. I don't trust my realtor. I don't trust this buyer. And there's a small amount of distrust I have for the title company, although they are the most ethical so far, despite the fact they don't have a voicemail set up or won't answer any calls lately. But yeah, so when I first read the messages, I was disappointed, but at the same time, I was very relieved that this process is actually wrapping up sooner than I thought. Of course, this is not how I wanted it to go, so I kind of was thinking about it this way earlier. This is a failure. However, it is not a loss. I really had nothing to lose. I still get my house. That's why I had to set a hard deadline to make sure that I was able to keep my house. Blah, blah, blah. Because past that deadline, and past that price deadline as well, there was a hard line in the sand on the price as well. It wasn't that I'm stubborn. It's just that I don't have the ability to accept a closing date past the date I set and made sure that all parties were aware of and respectful of. I sent copy and pasted messages to 3 different people expressing that there shall be 0 extensions offered on the date of the closing, and the price is set as I have set it. And that's because I don't have the option to make adjustments to either one of those, the date or the price. So anyways, my train of thoughts is kind of jumping around here, but I hope you understand. That's where we're at. They would have to agree to the price I set, and we would have to do the signing here in 3 days still. And that's the only way this train will get back on course before it's too late. I highly doubt that will happen. And even if it did, I would probably look for a way to kind of just avoid closing at this point. I really don't want to deal with these people, and I don't want to deal with my realtor, the buyer. When you have a real estate experience with a buyer and with a realtor that's so bad, it makes you want to move back into a house with no working furnace and no water. I'd say that's a pretty bad hand you were dealt in the real estate game. I have learned a lot. I will apply those things forward. I don't know how petty my realtor is going to be. I don't know what tricks he's going to try to pull. He basically wants me to accept a much lower offer, and I'm assuming it's just a matter of time before he tries to get me to accept a farther out closing date. Those 2 things are not going to happen. If for any reason I end up before an attorney or before a judge or anything like that pertaining to this matter, then I will take that one day at a time. But as far as I'm aware, I have full control to stop the transaction, terminate the transaction. I will not sign my name to any other offer that's drawn up in any lesser amount, and I certainly will not even begin to consider a closing date past the one I have set in 3 days from now. And if my realtor wants to get even more petty with his attempts at gaslighting, because he said, we have an agreement and there's still a lot of time. Come on, he said, I think I forgot to tell you this. He literally said, do you really want to risk the bank taking your house instead of making $20,000? Those figures are not accurate. He's misrepresenting the breakdown, and he's completely ignoring that I said I don't have the ability to accept what they offered. That's just not going to happen. He's just ignoring that because he wants to make his commission. Getting the mower for his troubles, the $3,000 zero turn for free for his troubles, is not enough for this man. And I'm assuming he would have made commission off of the buyer as well, because, and maybe that's only where the money would have came from. I'm pretty sure that's the only money my realtor made off of my original purchase of that property. And as far as their realtor getting paid, I'm assuming it's basically the money came from me because I'm the only one who put money down to make the deal happen. I don't know, but you get my point. But he has dual agency with this buyer, according to what I think I read in the contract. And it's kind of funny how he thinks I don't know how these contracts work. It's funny how he doesn't think that I've read these or know what they mean. But he wants me to think that, oh my God, I'm somehow locked into giving this man permission to do whatever he wants with my money and my house. And that's just, it's laughable. It saddens me that I have someone in my life who's behaving this way, and I look forward to that not happening again. I look forward to never working with this realtor again. But in any event, he goes, the bank, do you really want to risk the bank taking your house rather than making $20,000? Me making $20,000, quote unquote, is not what I'm able to work with. I've made that so clear to him. That's not the figure he's putting out anyways. He just got done saying 2 sentences ago that what I would walk away with is $18,000, but that's really not accurate because there is no final breakdown. You're not supposed to, in real estate, create fluff. You're not supposed to make statements you can't substantiate. Even when you show a home or advertise a home, you can't say, this is a great home. That's against real estate sales law. There's a name for that, but I forget. But what you would say in that case is, I don't know, let me think. Like you would say close to a school, because that's a fact. Or you would say new sidewalks in neighborhood, but you can't say that this neighborhood's great because that's not something you can substantiate. It's a matter of your opinion, so you can't advertise a home that way. When you do your walkthrough with a client as a sales agent, you can kind of fluff it up in your conversation. You can say, I really like this neighborhood. I would love to live here myself. You can talk shit, but you can't literally on paper say, and you can't pressure a client to sell or buy. That's against the law as well. So he's already, in my opinion, overstepping, and I think he's aware of it, but I think he's wanting to rely on potentially, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know what I'm doing, because I've never told him my skills. I've never told him my education. He doesn't know that I went to business college for real estate. He's talking to me as if I'm stupid, which just proves that it may be his only priority to make a commission. And I think he's just going to have to accept the fact that the deal didn't work. And that is at the blame of a few people. It's at the blame of the buyer right now, because they made an offer that I was able to accept, but now are not willing to honor that offer. And I never once indicated that I was willing to adjust the price this time around. As a matter of fact, I made it extremely clear that that was not going to happen. And I made that extremely clear to the title office as well. So I'm pretty sure he's just going to have to fucking get over it. And if he wants to try something petty, then if he really wants to bark up this tree, all I can say is we'll see what happens. I'm not going to make any threats or promises or puff up my feathers and say don't try it. If he wants to try it, try it. I hope not. I don't want to deal with that. But like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm not on the hook for anything. Contractually, I'm kind of on the hook to still close in 3 days if they decide to sign the papers with the price on those papers that I have set. but I am not legally obligated to sign those papers as well. I can, for whatever reasons I want, terminate this transaction. I can issue a termination of this transaction. He also said that he got me $5,000, and that's not true. He did put that in place. The buyer gave me that $5,000, the original buyer. That just flaked out. And the original buyer is the one who put the non-refundable deposit down, which, by the way, I will require from now on. Anybody who makes an offer that they don't really intend to keep will at least pay $5,000 for wasting 3 weeks of my time. So if and when I sell this property in the future, I will use a professional sales agent. Hopefully, at least I'll try a different one. I may contact the chick who sold me the house in the first place 6 years ago, but nothing will happen in the way of that until after our exclusive right to sell contract has expired sometime in July. But an exclusive right to sell does not mean that person has full power to sell my property whenever and however and at whatever price they want. That's not an agreement I signed. I signed an exclusive right to sell contract, which gives that broker and agent the exclusive right to sell and no one else. I cannot enlist the help of another broker, meaning like whatever big real estate companies out there, like Remax, Keller Williams, etc. Neither of those two are the broker I'm in contract with now. And nor will they be, because I am in contract with the one I'm in contract with until whatever date that is in July. But anyways, next time around, if and when I sell the property again, I will simply use a different real estate agent and a different broker as well. Like I said, most likely going to go back to, I'll contact the seller or the agent that I was wondering what this car was doing. Sometimes people come up here in the parking lot at work and chat with me. They see me out here and they want to catch up and things. Which I'm glad did not happen, because I did not want to crack the window and let a bunch of rain come in or interrupt this recording. But anyway, so I'll go with a different agent next time and a different company, and I will also require anyone who wants to enter into a contract to put down a $5,000 deposit at least. And I'm going to try to figure out how to make that deposit arrive in my hand before I even sign that purchase agreement, because I will no longer tolerate someone pretending to purchase the property at that price, then just simply refuse to come up with that amount of money and want to present a counter offer at that in that case. And definitely cannot wait to never work with this agent again. I find his words unprofessional and pretty sad too. But anyways, bring it, motherfucker. If that's what you think you need to do, then we'll see you. We'll see you in the office where you work first, and then we'll see you in court if need be. And I don't believe I have anything to worry about, legally speaking. I'm pretty sure I don't. But if I do, and he shows me that contractually, then I will respond accordingly, professionally, unlike him. And I'll do what I need to do, even if it puts me living right here in this car, using my mother's address on paper for who knows how long, because I can't get my apartment. That's the next part of this. Now 25 minutes later, I can't get my apartment with this deal. It's very possible that I can get a different apartment, but I will take my time this time around. I won't put a bunch of stuff on my plate all at once, and I will also never enter into a sales agreement, real estate agreement, where my one contract is contingent on the purchase of another property. I'm not going to do that crap no more. I've learned a lot, and this experience has taught me a lot. So yeah, that's the thing. The plane has crashed into the motherfucking mountain. The deal is done. There is a chance they could still want to do it at the price indicated by the date indicated. I highly doubt this house flipping LLC will be willing to do that, especially when they think that they can set the price of my property, and they think that I will go with a $19,000 less deal, which is $24,000 less than the original price we asked when it went on the market. Yeah, in real life, that's not going to happen. You can simply kiss my ass. I am not against lowering the cost. I'm not against cashing out at only what can at least take care of my mortgage. I'm not against cashing out at a zero profit on my property. However, like I've told my sales agent and the title office a few times now, it's not a matter of stubbornness. It's a matter of ability. I don't have the ability to take a lower offer, and I don't have the ability to close on a different date, because doing so would greatly compromise my ability to get a new home. And that's not going to happen. That was the case. Like I said, there was a video that I posted recently where I said, in 3 days I could be homeless. I put myself in harm's way foolishly, and I learned big time. I learned quick how to do that, and also how not to do that. I really didn't even think that was something that could happen, but I figured out quickly how to put yourself out on the street. And luckily I avoided that. And the way I avoided that was setting this hard deadline on price and on closing date, with 0 extensions being offered. And if that's not being, if he doesn't want to accept that and want to take this failure, then I really don't know what to tell him, and I'm not going to tell him anything. He wants to entertain this side chatter, and he wants me to try to agree with him that, oh my God, the bank's going to take your house, dumbass. Why don't you just take the 20 grand and walk? Well, he didn't offer me 20 grand, and he really doesn't have the exact figure of what I would walk with anyways. So it's all just kind of like you have to trust your realtor's word for it anyways, and that's why you shouldn't do what I did anyways. So next time I will go with a different agent. Next time I will fully and completely be moved into my new home. And then and only then will I contact a sales agent to put my house on the market. Anybody who wants me to sign a purchase agreement which puts my house in contract, that will only happen from here on out if that potential buyer gives me a $5,000 at least non-refundable deposit. So if they don't meet the price and the closing date deadlines, then they lose their money, because I deserve to be paid for moving out of my house and living in a motel, so God knows who can come and go as they please, whether or not I agree to it or not. That all stops now. And speaking of that, I would love to be able to go to my house tonight and set up camp and go to sleep in my home tonight and beg my house's forgiveness for saying goodbye to it and coming back. I have went back on my word, but I didn't have a choice. I got to move back in. It's better than living in my car, right? And there's some things I'm looking forward to. That lightning strike was way too close. Obviously, this is not what I wanted, but I can roll with this. I would go back to my house tonight, but it's about an hour from here. And it is late as shit. It's about 3 in the, what is it? Let me look. 2 something in the morning, I'm guessing. Let's see here. It is a whopping 2:32 in the AM-ster. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, believe it or not, pop into the wee old motel. And as long as there's not a huge fist fight happening outside my door like there was 6 nights ago, I'm going to try to get 4 or 5, maybe 6 hours of sleep. Then I'm going to get my ass up and get everything gathered up into my car and move out of that room, because tomorrow morning is my checkout date, thank God. And as you saw in this video, based on my realtor's misleading encouragement, and not saying that he encouraged me to do this, but he encouraged that the deal will most likely go through. I raised my probably going to happen percent to 75%. It was at like 49 before. Now it's at 0. But technically it's at like 5% because they might still come through, but I don't even think I would do it at this point. But anyways, I got another room for the next 2 nights after tonight, and that will land us on checking out the morning of the day the closing was supposed to be. So I think what I'm going to do is, because I don't have anything set up at my house yet, like a bed or anything, not even like a fold-out table for a temporary desk or anything, and who knows the condition of my house, with who knows who's been coming in and out, or if my well's been further dug up, or whatever the case may be. I don't even know. But I think I'm going to wait and go out to my house tomorrow. And I think because my house is not ready, and the biggest thing is with the other room that I got for the next 2 nights after tonight, I've already reserved it, and I'm already inside of the 24-hour cancellation deadline. So I'm going to be charged for the first night anyways, or at least a portion of the first night. So I thought, screw it. I will further complete my end of the deal and stick to what I said, even though I'm kind of going back major with the house, right? But I'm going to go ahead and enjoy this last 2 nights of accommodations pertaining to water and comfortable heating and all that stuff. And I'm going to enjoy this very nice motel room that I reserved, or hotel room that I reserved. And I'm going to hope my neighbors are different. I'm going to hope the class level goes up, just meaning behavior-wise is all I'm talking about. The way people behave around me at this motel is so pathetic, with the slamming of the doors, the fist fighting outside my door, the screaming at the top of your lungs at 2 a.m. for 20 minutes, or whatever time of day that was. And you will see all that in a lost episode that's coming up quick. Yeah, looking forward to the hotel, even though I can go back to my house now and be done with it. My house is in contract, but that does not mean I am obligated in any way, shape, or form before that closing date to let anyone come and go out of my house. And just to err on the side of caution, if that's the right expression, I think I'm going to go ahead and buy replacement locks for my house sometime this weekend. So all in all, that's enough of me ranting. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the motel, catch a quick nap, 5 to 6 hours potentially of sleep, or less, depending on how long it takes me to get there with this rain and how early I need to check out, or whatever the case. And I'm going to head to my house. I'm probably going to do laundry somewhere at a laundromat along the way, probably before I even get to my house. I'm going to put a couple things in the house, I guess, for that I have here in my car. But I'm going to pretty much keep my hotel stuff I need in the car. I will most likely, I don't know, I'll most likely go retrieve my van, take it to the house, and put some stuff up. I need to find my inflate-a-bed, my fold-out table, my fold-up chair at least, and set up a base camp in the bedroom with a space heater, because it still gets pretty chilly at night right now. It's only early April. And shortly after that, I'm going to go back to the storage unit where my car will then be, and swap back my car, which will have all the stuff I need it for my motel visit or hotel visit. And then from there, I will go to my hotel room and do a whole lot of nothing tomorrow afternoon. But I just would love the chance to get a full night's rest, if not even tack on a couple extra hours of rest at that point. Whatever my realtor says will be ignored most likely this weekend, because At the very most, I'll just say, sorry, but I'm not able to adjust my price or my closing date at this time. And like I said, at this point, even if they do come through and want to act the way they pretended they were going to act at first, I don't even think I would show up at the closing at this point anyways. I'm pretty much done with this back and forth crap. And I have to be honest, even though I don't want to say this, I told him the amount of money I would need to get this apartment, kind of just in conversation. And that is now exactly the amount of money that he's saying I would walk away with. And I'm sorry, but homie don't buy that shit. That's why I kind of regret telling him anything about my personal situation, because I don't think he is all the way ethical. I'm not saying he's an unethical scumbag or whatever, but I get a strange feeling he's not quite all the way ethical. But anyways, the plan for right now at least is to get to that motel room, catch a quick 4 or 5, check out of that room, do some laundry tomorrow during the day, head to my storage parking space, swap the car for the van, take the van over to the house, unload a few items, take the van potentially to my storage unit to grab my inflatable bed and my fold-out table and my chair to set up a little base camp for here in a few days. And then I will get my car again, swap them back out, and head back. And then from there, head to my hotel room, check in, grab a cup of coffee, do some relaxing, hopefully some heavy sleeping in. Might take myself to dinner at some point the following day from that point. And the day of the closing, regardless of what's going on, I highly doubt I will participate. There's no damn way I'm participating in the closing they're wanting me to do right now. But if they agree to close the way I told them needs to happen, I'm assuming, based on my current mood, that I will not even attend that closing. The closing that's supposed to happen, I don't believe I'm attending that at this point either. So then from there, the morning of the closing, which is in 3 mornings from now, let's see, I'll head back to the house and get ready for work pretty much from there. So we have returned to the content you were seeing about, what was it now? 3 or 4 weeks ago, before I ever contacted that guy in the first place. I started that out with a video that said mortgage-free lifestyle has begun, I think, or it might have said something to the effect of started the process of selling my home, started the process of looking for a new home, blah, blah, blah. We're now going back in time to before any of that took place. And for those of you who are actually listening to this still and find the story interesting and allowing me to take up so much of your time today on this video, I thank you a lot for that. But this is not my outro. That's before we do that, let's go ahead and brave this rain, drive home and head back to the motel room for now, and we'll take it from there. Unfortunately, you heard it. After all of that, anticipation, final confirmations, this call I got this morning that I was happy to talk about that said we're probably back on track, all of that has now ate shit. What goes up, my friends, unfortunately in this case, must come down. My last night at the shit motel. Thank goodness. Well, on that sad note, that's gonna do it for this old video. It's time to piss on this fire, pack up this campsite, and head back for the very last night at my shitty motel. Tomorrow night, we will be living in the lap of luxury, and the night afterwards as well. And then we will be back full-time, apparently, so far, at the house. Believe it or not, I didn't think I'd be saying that. I thought for sure by then we'd be good to go with the apartment. But as you've seen every single day,
Plot twist after plot twist. I kind of taken back compared to how this video started in relation to how it's ending. In case I haven't been clear, I'll say it again. The buyer was on board and everything was good, according to my realtor. Then that turned out to be completely false, according to my realtor. Then he got all rude with me and tried to gaslight me, tried to get me to accept an offer $19,000 less than what I told him I had to at least have. And he wanted to go into side conversations and ask me about, tried to convince me that the bank's going to foreclose on my house. I should just tuck and run now. Completely out of line. I'm not accepting that BS, but anyways, let's move forward, shall we? I obviously wanted things to go differently, but like I said, this is an absolute fail, but it is not a loss. I will be fine. I'll rebuild. I'll get back in the house, if not all the way, at least partially, until I get an apartment arranged or a new house of some sort. So we'll see. As I say, stay tuned. And I guess that's it for now. Tomorrow, we're getting up here and we're getting the hell out of here and never coming back. I can't wait to give this room the middle finger and drive off this property for the very last time, hopefully of my entire life. I hate it here, if I didn't already make that clear in previous videos. And then after that, we're going to do some laundry. We're going to head over and get my van. We're going to head to the house, set up a few items. We're going to head to the storage unit so we can put a couple more things in the house. And then we're going to head to the hotel, and we're going to spend a couple of nights just propping our feet up, watching a movie, having some dreams. And then it will be the morning of the closing, which is probably not going to happen because apparently the buyer was never sincere about offering to pay the price tag that I had on the property. And I'm not going to accept any form of other amount or any form of other date, closing date. So there it is. Now you're up to speed. And it sucks because the train has derailed. It had maintenance issues. Sometimes it was moving forward, sometimes it was stopped, sometimes it was creeping backwards, but now it appears to be derailed. And even if they stop trying to call my bluff and they will go ahead and offer to move forward and pay the amount as indicated, I think I'll go ahead and say, well, because of what my realtor told me, that the deal was dead in the water, I have since made other plans and will not be able to move forward with the closing at any price. So congratulations for fucking that one up. But of course, there is a extremely small chance that they come to their senses, pay the appropriate amount. It's so offensive that a home flipping company thinks that they set the price of my property and have no real sincerity when they make their initial offer. They put my house in the contract, took it off the market, and had no real intention of paying what they said they were going to pay when they made the offer, which is what I was asking. And unless I'm misunderstanding. Whatever. Also, my realtor wants me to be convinced that because we have some kind of exclusive listing agreement that I'm stuck selling the place. That's total bullshit. And I'm not going to sell the place. He rubbed me the wrong way. He played this wrong. The buyer played this wrong. And I played this wrong because I put too much on my plate. I cannot be flexible with the price or the timeline, and that is 100% my fault. But here in the near future, I suspect we will be in an apartment, and perhaps even right there in the same community where I was trying to live. I doubt I'll get the one they're holding for me. That'd be nice. It's a really nice apartment. 3rd floor, a view out the back. Would have been beautiful. I think I'd have loved it up there. Although it's crazy because I did look at another apartment the other day, like you saw, and I like that apartment more, but I don't like its location more. Not even close. But at the moment, I hate this entire town because I got pulled over here last night for doing nothing wrong. I'm not going to be able to live here, so I'm trying to like walk away with any kind of pride I might have left. So like screw this town in general at the moment. Oh yeah, and I've been sleeping here in this town, in this shit motel, dealing with absolute asshole neighbors that I can't wait to never sleep next to or be next to ever again. In any event, like I said, it's time to wrap this one up for the day. Wow, what an embarrassing video. Started out so positive, started out with hope, and ends with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, aka jack shit. But anyways, if you'd like to help me, you can do so by sharing this video with all your dumb buddies, or perhaps you can go back and find a video that doesn't suck and share that with all your dumb buddies instead. Do you hear that? That thunder is close. Should I take a shot out my door before I say goodbye? Nah, you get it. It's a rainstorm. It's a thunder and lightning crashing down storm. If you want to contact me directly, then fucking do it. DuggaloNation@gmail.com. Okay? Alright, so you behave and take your vitamins, mind your manners, and do not go about acquiring a new home and getting rid of your land and selling your property the way I did it. Do not go about doing it the way I've attempted to do it. Okay? I'm going to say this every single second until the day I die. Don't do what I did. Instead, completely and fully acquire and move into your new property. Then, once your old property is completely void of all your possessions and all your interest, then list your property for sale. And only then list your property for sale. And take a non-refundable deposit. Make that a requirement in order to have that property in contract before you sign the purchase agreement. That way, when they decide they're going to put it in your ass, you can put it in their ass instead. Isn't that nice? So, I got to go. But I'll be back with you again, like always. Despite how busy I am, despite how much sleep I don't get, despite how much I just want to cry myself to sleep because of all this crap going on, I will still be with you every morning, right here, 7 a.m. Eastern, 7 days a week, no matter what. We can't rely on jack shit, but at least you can rely on me. So I'll see you tomorrow morning, as always. But in the meantime, don't be a douche.